Now we're going to take a look at how you can use data in a database with Facebook applications. Facebook applications don't always have to store data. Once a Facebook user has allowed your application access to your profile, it can get information such as your name. All of the runtime information that is stored by Facebook is available to the application. But there are times when the application needs to store some of its own information. Sometimes, let's say in the case of a game, it may want to store your last score or your highest score. In the case of any application, it may want to store your preferences, things that you can set for that application. And you might want to store those in a database. Now, there is a data store API that Facebook has designed and developed, and that it allows application developers to use from time to time. But there are some issues with the data store API that make it unsuitable for certain purposes. It's an excellent API, and it's very useful. I've used it many times myself. But if you need to store data that needs to be shared with another application outside of Facebook, it's easiest to use a traditional database so that your Facebook app can access that database, and another app that has nothing to do with Facebook can also access that database. Now remember, that database can only store information that the user provides to your app, not information that it provides from Facebook. The only Facebook information you can legally store under the terms of service is a user's Facebook ID. The friends, the names, all of that have to be stored in the Facebook resources and accessed by your application only at runtime. So in this section, we're going to take a look at integrating a database, in this case, a MySQL database, with a Facebook app. And what you're going to see is how to create a new pick. These are items that people using this Facebook app, Main Street Picks, items that users can create using the Facebook Create button, which then launches another page called newpick.php, and that page is going to let the user enter data in Facebook through a Facebook form, and that data will be used to populate an item in a database. Now we're going to see how to use a Facebook form. You'll see how to use selectors in the Facebook form, and you'll see also how to use a Facebook dialog. So for example, the headline here says add more picks in your favorite downtown, Main Street, or zone, and here we have what's a zone, which pops up a Facebook dialog. Notice that everything you're seeing here looks like Facebook because it is Facebook. This is all Facebook in action, and I'll show you how to create that dialog and how to complete this form. And when you have completed this form, which is on a page called newpick.php, you can add that pick, and that will go to another page which will actually update the database. So we're going to see how to do all of that in this section. But there's more, because what I'm going to do is to show you how I've structured this. And I mentioned this at one point previously, but now we'll get into it more. There are 3 folders inside this application that I've created. There's the app folder, which contains the pages that I'm building for my Facebook application. There's the PHP folder. In some older applications, it was called a client folder. Then this has the downloaded Facebook code that provides the Facebook glue. And I have a third folder here called connections. And that folder has a file in it called My Connection that has the information that I can use to get to my SQL database. And as a result, what happens is in index.php, I'm calling config.php, which has my entire configuration in it. And if I go back and look inside config.php, you'll see here I have the keys for this application, and just as a reminder, this application will no longer exist by the time that you see this, so these keys will not be valid. It has my Canvas page. It has the name of the app. So when I'm changing the Canvas page, the location of the app, or changing even the name of the app, all I have to do is change config.php. And then I'm going to require the myconnection.php file that is inside the connections folder here, and this is the file. And what I'm going to do is to show you the contents of myconnectionsanitized.php. I won't show you what's inside my connection because that has the password. Inside my connection, I have these variables here that are created as globals. I have the IP address of the host, the name of the host database, the username and password, and inside connection, I create a connection using the MySQL connect construct that uses those variables so that I am connected to that database as soon as config.php is used. So that's how I get to the database. I'll go over each of these, including constructing the database and developing that Facebook form so that you can update the database in this section.